Yeah, hi ma'am.
Hello.
I'm audible to you now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll just
Am I
wait for few
audible?
seconds. Hi
Yeah,
Shika
sure, sure.
ma'am. Yeah. We'll just wait for few seconds so these people
Okay.
will join us.
Sure, sure, no
Yeah.
problem.
Hi Muskan. Hi Sparsham. And yes, guys, I would like to give you a disclaimer that right now there are no actual facts available that what a physiotherapist actually do in COVID-19. So Atika ma'am is going to share her experience with us. Okay. So we just need some time. Don't go and apply these theories directly to your patients. Take some advice of your senior physiotherapist also. Right, ma'am?
Absolutely. Should we start or we need to wait for some time?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. First, I'd
Okay.
like to introduce her. She is Dr. Atika Nanpurwala. She is a MPT in cardiorespiratory. She is also COVID warrior and she is my super senior. Yeah, ma'am?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Please tell us, ma'am, your experience in this situation right now.
Okay, so I'm going to start talking about like what role physiotherapy have in COVID-19. As we know that we don't have any proven facts or much data available because the researchers are ongoing. So we are just talking about what my personal experience is on applying therapy on COVID patients. So before starting, we should like go on some basic points which all the physiotherapists needs to know. Like they should be familiar with the COVID-19 pathology first, and the
Okay.
most important part is how they prevent the transmission of the disease while they are practicing in the hospital or they are like practicing the clinic, which is non-COVID or in COVID. So they need to know about how they should prevent the transmission first and how they educate the patient or the caregivers regarding these things. So as we know that physiotherapists are working on different levels. They practice in clinics, healthcare, like in primary or tertiary healthcare. So
Yes.
there are different levels for practicing in physiotherapy. So first is primary care, in which they need to know about the like they need to know about how to identify the symptoms of the patient, and then community care. In community care, we focus on mainly like patient education or the caregiver education, and then acute
Okay.
care settings, acute care and like in terms of management of respiratory symptoms. Okay,
Okay.
so in primary care we focus on avoiding the transmission of the disease first and provide education to the patient. So how we focus on avoiding the transmission is like we need to tell them about hand hygiene and avoiding touching the hand like nose, mouth, and the areas which are exposed, practicing coughing etiquettes, wear mask, practice social distancing, and if at all they're having any symptoms like fever, cough, or difficulty in breathing, they should seek medical advice.
Okay.
And providing education in terms of this, as many of them are quarantined and in isolation, so physiotherapists can help them digitally by providing like healthcare maintenance strategies regarding their activities, and nutrition is most important part for boosting their immunity. We can even target their sleeping pattern. We can advise for a good sleeping pattern, and their mental health care. So
Okay.
this is all
Yeah.
about basic things which we can target at like a community level.
Okay.
Okay, and as we go on like acute care hospital. So acute care, when patient is presenting with the symptoms of COVID-19, like those who are hospitalized. So they are basically often with pneumonia or ARDS, like acute respiratory distress syndrome. So in these
Okay.
cases, physiotherapists find themselves involved in the respiratory care. So as we are involving the respiratory care, we should be very much concerned about the safety. So safety first, like we should have appropriate PPs, adequate hydration, and adequate breaks between the shifts or whatever working hours we have. So we should have a
Okay.
safety first, and then the respiratory care comes into action. So when the respiratory care is coming into action, like what I myself do is I treat patient following OTPT guidelines and maintaining the social distance with the patient. So to to prevent the aerosol and the infection of transmission of infection, and we should minimize the entry and exit from the room if we are treating the patient. Okay, these are available, like we have supporting evidence for this. And when it comes to the respiratory intervention, there is no fixed protocol available, and there are
Okay.
no facts which can say that this is the fixed protocol for treating the COVID patients. But we can see that they have difficulty breathing. Okay, so respiratory muscles are involved, and due to the fatigue of respiratory muscle, they have increased work of breathing. So what we can do is we can ease the work of breathing and relaxation. So I am doing as deep breathing exercises for them. So deep breathing
Okay.
exercises are very relaxing for them, and there is a ease of breathing, and pattern is also improved in such patients. So what we can do is breathing exercises and chest expansion exercises is what I have seen has improved. Symptoms are improved, and according to the systematic review as I read online, was that is published in 2020 June 2020 on respiratory rehab in patients with novel coronavirus. They have said that there is uncertain whether respiratory therapy would be effective or no in such patients. So data is like ongoing, and treatment obviously depends on the patient's cooperation, consciousness level, and the hemodynamic status of the patient. We can't
Okay.
apply breathing exercises in all the patients, so we need to be careful about their hemodynamic status also, their consciousness level also, and their cooperation. Okay,
Okay.
and there is one more thing I found to be effective is prone position of the patient. Like it is
Prone position.
prone position, proning of the
Okay.
patient, like placing the patient in a prone position, that is awake
Yes.
proning. Patient is conscious, we can ask them to go in the prone position, because it is proven that in case of ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, prone position is to be very effective. So we can do that
Okay.
in COVID patients also. And there is a mechanism behind this position. If we place the patient in prone position, there is a lung dependent area in which there is a recruitment. So this recruitment is increasing, and ventilation perfusion matching is also increasing. So in turn, the saturation is like we can see the saturation is improving. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have found one article supporting this. Like there is evidence for supporting this. Wahid et al. They have conducted a study on 10 randomly selected patients who were non-ventilated and no tracheostomy tube. Mean age was 41, and they have seen that there was significant improvement in the saturation of the patient who was COVID
Okay.
positive.
Yeah.
So we have started applying this position on our patients, and we are also documenting this things that saturation is improving in this position. So there are certain articles saying that this position should be maintained for at least 16 hours
16
to
hours.
16 hours to
Okay.
to see the effect. Okay,
Okay.
if I do the patient, like if I make a patient in prone position, I can see immediate effect in some patients, and some patients has no effect. So still it
Okay.
is okay. In my point of view, okay, it is improving in some patients, and some article says that you have to maintain it for a very long time to see the effect. And the lung dependent areas are also getting recruited. Chest compliance is also increasing. So this position is, I guess, is effective, and we should have like more data on it. So according to
Yeah,
certain
but
studies,
I'll again give a disclaimer that whatever ma'am is discussing right now is her experience, okay? It is not
absolutely,
proven facts yet. Yeah,
exactly,
right, ma'am?
exactly.
Yes. Please,
So
ma'am,
there
continue.
are certain evidences which are saying that prone position is effective. So we can do that in our setup. Like I am doing it on my patients, and I'm seeing the saturation is improving, but still researches need to be done on it to prove it. And
Okay.
again, there are certain articles which are contributing to the this evidence that it is the best position to be practiced in COVID patients, but still. And The other things are deep breathing exercises, which I'm doing on my patients, which is like giving them ease in breathing, and the prone positioning. These two interventions I am doing on my patients, and I'm seeing that there is improvement in the saturation. An incentive
Okay.
spirometer can also be given to them for encouragement and adding incentives to their breathing and improving their lung compliance and improving the chest muscle, respiratory muscle strength. So this three interventions I am doing on my patient, and I'm seeing that there is good effect in them, and they are getting motivated. So this kind of therapy I'm practicing on them.
Okay. Ma'am, what about your journey as a COVID warrior right now? Like you are a physiotherapist, but you're
Yes,
also a COVID warrior right now.
yes, yes.
So how would you describe your journey right now?
So it's like very nice. I'm getting a good exposure and scope to practice. So I'm basically cardiorespiratory. So this is my topic of interest. So I'm seeing that the patients are improving very nicely with this respiratory interventions with what I am practicing on them. And still I have to do some more researches on it, and I'm like ongoing on it.
Okay. Ma'am, is there something that you would like to share as a physiotherapist? Like what precautions should a patient take or what precautions a physiotherapist should take during this COVID-19?
Yeah, precautions as I already discussed, maintain the social distancing because there is a chance of aerosol transmission. So when you are
Okay.
treating the patient, you should like when you are treating the patient also you should maintain a social distancing of 1 meter when you're talking to the patient, when you're giving the breathing exercises to them, whether the patient is wearing mask or they're not wearing mask. If they are wearing mask, they have difficulty in breathing. Certain people have asking me doubts regarding when the patient is wearing mask, how they are coping up with the breathing exercises, because it is very
Okay.
uncomfortable for them to breathe in the mask because sweat is also there, which is creating the room for the microorganisms to develop, and the carbon dioxide which is exhaling is mixing up with the air, and then they are taking it back. So it is very uncomfortable for them to breathe, to perform breathing exercises. Basically their efficiency of performing is reduced. So
Okay.
if at all they're not wearing mask, we can advise them to wear a face shield rather. So they have a free space to do a breathing, and there will be a less scope of transmission.
Okay.
So as a safety, we should practice a social distancing, like 1 meter away from them, and we can teach them exercises. And communication is very important with them because we are all in the PPs. We can't demonstrate them the exercises what we are doing. Basically,
Yes.
I find difficult to show pursed lip breathing because pursed lip breathing is something which is like we can demonstrate to them, and
Yes.
if we are in the PP wearing the mask, we can't demonstrate them pursed lip breathing. So all
Yes.
we have
Normally
to
we
do
do that in
is
the
find.
ICU.
Exactly. So all we have to do is like the verbal communication is like we can just do the verbal communications with them, and we want them to do those things perfectly because we don't want them to do it like do some mistakes while performing this. So this
Okay.
is the thing. Maintain the distance. Verbal communication is important, and make sure they are doing all the exercises correctly. That's it.
Ma'am, there is like one thing, like whatever respiratory protocol we follow in ICU
Yeah.
will be different. Yeah, I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever protocol we follow in ICU for in like normal respiratory people, normal
Yeah.
respiratory patients actually differs from
Mhm.
patients of COVID. The protocol
Yeah. It
differs.
differs because the secretion load is very less in patients with COVID. They have dry cough.
Okay.
Okay. And even if
Yeah.
they are having any secretion load, so we can perform those maneuvers, but less likely. We need evidence for this.
Yeah. Right now we don't have any particular data for it. Ma'am,
Exactly,
what you
exactly. And
think?
so far,
Oh,
I have seen the patient, they don't have any secretion load. So all
okay.
I have done is deep breathing exercises and positioning. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So the positioning, like the basic postural drainage we give in respiratory patients, the
Not
same
really
thing?
required. Yeah,
Not
same thing can be given if they have a secretion load.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have
Ma'am,
seen those patients who don't have any secretion load, they have dry cough.
okay. But ma'am, do you think suctioning birthing, which we apply in ICU patients, will
Yeah,
be helpful in COVID patients if they have a secretions?
yeah, will be helpful, but only if they are intubated and close suctioning is advisable. As far
Close suctioning.
I know, according to the evidence, close suctioning is
Okay.
advisable to avoid the aerosol transmission.
Okay. I guess many new physios won't be aware of what is suctioning,
Okay.
basically. So I'll upload what is suctioning. I'll update notes on it. I'll try to update a video on it. Yeah,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah, sure, sure,
Yeah, ma'am.
definitely.
Is there anything else you want to share with us as a COVID
No,
warrior?
that's it. As far I have covered the basic things which you need to follow, not only in COVID but in your daily life. As like very basic, I've started, and then for the physiotherapist or all the physiotherapists who are practicing in COVID and non-COVID, just maintain all this OTPT guidelines which has been given, and
Yes.
yes. So please go and read the guidelines and then practice. And whatever I have shared so far is my personal experience and whatever
Yeah.
patients I have seen. So like I'm looking forward for a research also. So whenever it is like data will be available, I'll definitely publish.
Yes. Sure. Sure, ma'am. We will put it on. I'll update on my page itself.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Pranoti, for giving me this
Yeah.
opportunity to talk on this topic.
Thank you, ma'am. The pleasure is mine talking to a super senior after so